Joining me in the studio today is Eitan Freilich. Eitan is a singer who released his first album in 2016, has released every year since, and has absolutely shot to fame on the international Jewish music scene. He was also with me at high school, so it's great that we have this opportunity to catch up, but on camera, while sharing so many things with you that I really want to dig in. So let's jump right in. Eitan, thank you for joining me today.
Dror, hello, nice to see you, nice to be with you.
It's nice to see and be with you as well. Now, it's quite rare that I get to say, hey, Eitan, let's meet up, without you saying, oh, I'm in New York, I'm in Paris, I'm in Israel, which I guess is a silver lining to this terrible situation we're in.
100%. I'm grounded. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. All my flights have been cancelled. All my jobs have been cancelled. But it's still good. You know, you can find some good points that you can take away from it. I think
Absolutely.
Definitely, as you say, a silver lining.
So I want to ask, with all the traveling that you are doing, and I'm sure will one day come back,
Yes.
how did you maintain a work-life balance? So not only are you traveling, actually, you're working evenings and weekends, singing at weddings. How do you maintain that balance?
It's a good question. I think I've got a lot to thank my family for. It's a very good question. It's time is my most valuable commodity, and to make my business, the more I work, the better the business is, right? But I've got it as like an opportunity cost somewhere. So I've got to work as much as I can, but also have quality of life. And I think that's also very, very beneficial. You've got to have a break sometimes. I think it's really important. But honestly, my wife works during the day. I work during the night. We sort of don't see each other till Shabbos. It works really, really well. But in all seriousness, we work really hard. It's about good communication. I have to balance an awful lot, because in the day you're sort of gearing up for what's coming in the evening. You're setting up, you're rehearsing, you're in the studio, you are warming up, or you've got all these different elements that happen before the event. Then you've got to perform the event, and I think it's just about having breaks. Holidays are the most important thing. All my holidays have been cancelled. But I think holidays and breaks are the most important time. You know, you have a time to break, have a time to reflect, have a time to think, but you also have time with your family. I think that's key.
100%. Now, you were talking about how it's your business, and of course is, but I've also watched you in action, making a personal connection on a real human level with not only every client and person you're speaking to, but every fan of on social media and in real life when people come up to you. So how do you find the way to bring that one-to-one connection with thousands of people?
There's no tricks, if I'm honest. There's no specific skill. I think the honest truth is just to be genuine and be sincere. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. It comes across on stage. Not only do I like what I do, but I know all the team that work with me love what we do. I mean, you've seen us before. You've been at events. We jump around, we dance, but we enjoy it, and it's genuine. And I think, before I do a wedding, yesterday I was with a client, socially distant, of course. I was with a client and I met with them, and I tried to understand exactly what they want for their wedding. And even now, more than ever, they're having smaller weddings. You've got to make it even more special. But it's about delivering what they want. It's not my concert. Sometimes we're talking about weddings now. I mean, it's not my concert, it's not my show. I want to deliver what they want. I want to deliver what their friends want. I want to make that atmosphere great. And how I do that personal connection is by getting to know them, so I can deliver what they want, deliver the musical experience that they want.
So what's your favorite? You've got albums which you sell, that's one part of the business. You've got the concerts which are an incredible atmosphere, and a wedding which, I mean, personal opinion, concerts are great. You deliver a great concert, but there's something about a wedding that for me makes it so special.
Don't forget the music videos. You've got the music videos as well. That's like another element.
Well, I like tie that in with the albums. That's the recording. That's the.
I get it. Yeah, it is with the. Yeah, it's. I think nowadays we can speak about it a little bit later. But I think nowadays the music videos are like the key. That is the key business card for a singer. I think it's becoming more and more popular as Spotify, as streaming comes along. I think the music videos are definitely key to showcase your work.
Now, you've just released another series of music videos.
That is true. With a new album.
So, with a new album.
They do tie
so hang on, tell me a little bit about this, because it seems so.
No, it's a good question. So I don't only do weddings, but you would say private events, right?
Right.
But weddings are something that we really miss. We're in lockdown. We're having quality family time together. But I find that we've got all these things and we're workarounds and everything that we're trying to come towards, but we're missing that simcha. We're missing that element of
that special something that makes weddings different.
And what's nice about a wedding is you've got two sides, sometimes from totally different backgrounds, coming together, all for one purpose, and that's to make those two people the happiest people. I always say to them, they're the most special people on the day. And isn't it? You go to a wedding, right? You get a hello or a special greeting from the bride or from the groom, from the chosn, from the kala. Don't you feel so special because they are the most important? Everyone's coming for them. So the way I do it is I want to deliver for them. And this new album I did was basically 5 common, well-known wedding songs, covers, some of them on my own. And what we did is we recorded them in the studio, guitar, piano, really beautiful. We stripped everything back. We stripped the music back. Nowadays, you get a music album that's packed full of synths and full of different music instruments. We stripped it back, took it to its raw beauty, and I performed these 5 songs, these 5 covers, and we released them with 5 new music videos.
It was incredible to see, and it was really nice how you took it back to basics. It was Louis and Omri, both great guys, and you make a wonderful
Louis
team.
in Israel, Omri in his house in town, and everyone doing it from home.
It's really special and really incredible that you pulled it off.
Thank you.
So would you say that that's a good indicator for people who are looking for a wedding singer? Are videos like those and the recordings, if they are listening on Spotify and those platforms, are they a good indicator of what they're going to get at their wedding?
Yeah, I mean, for that specific project, 100%. That is exactly what it would sound like. I mean, obviously, you've got the atmosphere and the ambience and the environment behind you in a wedding, which makes it even better. But ultimately, when it comes to music quality, that is the minimum. It's only going to get better from there. And it was very enjoyable to do, to be quite honest.
Do you like recording in the studio? Is it... What's it like? Give us everyone sees you releasing these albums, but what's it really like?
Okay, so you get, for me, it's the biggest professional development I could do is when I get to that studio. So when I'm in the studio, you're under the microscope. So I'm learning about myself constantly. So each time I go back to the studio, I am improving. I'm trying to nail exactly the skill out. It's a skill what I'm doing, and you've only got one chance when you're at a wedding or when you're at a bar mitzvah or when you're at a private dinner or a charity dinner to get that song right. So at least now when I'm in the studio, I can really work on my profession. I can work on the art to try and get over. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I want to try and get over exactly what I want to come across. I can be creative.
Now, speaking about that creative skill you've got and how you build on it, back when we were in school, you weren't Eitan Freilich the singer. I mean, you did sing, but you ran EF events. Yeah. Now, you've transitioned, and EFFS, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't really exist anymore. No. You come as the singer, you work with amazing people and recommend them, but so what made you choose to leave behind the production and the big show and running the business and get to this and get to be Eitan Freilich the singer?
Well, so most people don't know this, right? So before I was singing...
Just remember, we are going to share this everywhere, so if you're telling me secrets...
Yeah, you're right. I'm sometimes a bit like that. I'm too open sometimes. But that's the thing. You wear your heart on your sleeve and you be honest and genuine, and that's why this works. But that's why it comes across, so the music can come across so vulnerable and so honest. But doing events before I started singing taught me an awful lot. It gave me the experience that I needed. I really loved it, but I also felt that you can't be a jack of all trades. You can't be doing the lighting, you can't be doing the singing, you can't be organising the band, and you can't be doing the AV and the sound and whatever. You've got to be focusing on one thing to make it great. And I sold it. I had all the rigging and the sound equipment and the lights. You've seen it. And I used to love doing what I do, but there's nothing like singing at an event, whether it's a concert, whether you've got that singing, the talk back from the audience, so the crowd is singing with you, or whether you're going to a wedding and you can see the happiness that you're bringing, you're enabling simcha. There's nothing quite like it. And since I saw the event industry and I got an insight into what goes on, I knew what I wanted to do.
So I'm just remembering back when we were at Hasmo, you ran the Purim shows.
Every year.
Those were next level. I'm trying to remember the names of them. They were really clever names, and my mind has just gone blank.
Every year was different, but they were clever productions, but run really efficiently. And although what I do doesn't seem like a business, it's run totally like a business. I'm a yakka. I'm on time always, or early, as people here know.
Yeah, apologies. I was late today, quite significantly.
No, I'm always on time, always, and everything has to run, best as possible. And if it doesn't, there's always got to be a plan B. There's always got to be versatility. Always got to be a workaround, and that's what it taught me because. I run a band. I've got my own band. I work with other bands. I do things in different countries with different bands, with different event organizers. You've got to work. You've got to be a team player. If you're not a team player, this job isn't for you.
Absolutely not.
You've got to work with people. And you know what? I'm only as big as the band behind me. I always say that. I know that the keyboard player, the guitarist, the drummer, they've all got my back because we're all one unit. And that's what I like is, I'm joining something here bigger than me. Right, so we're part of a team. They are my friends, basically, because I don't have time for a social life. When you grow up,
in events, who's, as you say, all the different things you're doing. We were talking about the work-life balance.
You're traveling. The only time I have for myself, honestly, is when I'm on a plane. And even now, when we've got Wi-Fi now on planes, it's just ruining me.
distracting.
Yeah, totally. But going back to what I was saying, you rely on the band, you rely on the team with you. As I said, you always have fun with them, but, you rely on them and they've got your back. And that's the point. There's a camaraderie there. There is that sort of team spirit that really works for me. And that's what it taught me doing events. That's what these things enlightened me with. And it gave me some skills to also deal with it. I play piano as well. So even then, sort of, I did GCSE piano and I got an A.
Can we shout out to Mrs. Gross?
Yeah, my old teachers. And Michael Hatting.
All of them, yeah, 100%.
Absolutely fantastic. Legendary people. And those are the type of people, by the way, as well, who do it for the passion and do it for they're not only doing it for money.
So on the subject of money and passion, what's your why?
What is my why? There's not one reason why.
I told you I was going to throw a question like that on you.
I knew it. That's just you, Dror. That is you. What is my why? I do it for many reasons. Selfish reasons. I love what I do. I really enjoy it. I love getting up every day, looking forward to something. That there's that feeling of being able to do such kindness, bring such kindness, such simcha to other people's events. That's a selfish reason. When I say that, I mean because I actually feel good. Sometimes there's giving and taking. I learned this a lot. Michtav Eliyahu, Rab Dessler teaches a lot, and I don't want to preach here. It's my own thoughts, but basically, you'd think giving and taking, right? Sometimes it's actually nicer to give than it is to take. And the point is that I love doing, certain events. I do some Sudoku events, even going to Camp Hask in America.
Hang on, you're getting on to my next question already.
Listen, sorry, I should be interviewing you. No, I'm joking. But doing some of these events, though, is basically what gives me a huge, it makes a huge impact on me, to be honest. Music is a universal language. You're able to cut through so much. You're able to perform in different countries to people who don't even speak the language that I'm singing in, and that is my why. To be honest, it's about bringing some sort of joy.
Bringing joy to the world.
Joy to the world. It sounds a bit cheesy, doesn't it?
And to each individual in a way. It's cheesy. It's a cliche. Don't get me wrong, but there is something more when I see you up on stage, and I've seen you up on stage a lot. There's something more than this is my job.
Oh, 100%.
Because you could be sitting there, and I'm not even going to sing now, but you could be sitting there with a mic like this, and you go, Siman Tov or Mazel Tov, but you don't. You have so much more in you.
I want it to be energized. If I'm having fun, the band's having fun, everyone will have fun. We've got to enjoy it ourselves. We've got to truly enjoy it.
It's like you're partying and working and everything.
Yeah, it's got to be real. It's got to be sincere.
Now, you mentioned charities, which was my next question. You work with a lot of charities. You've done a lot of fundraising.
Yeah.
Firstly, why is it important to you? Why is it that when you release some albums, you've done them for charity when really it's your business? So many people will say, hang on, this is his job.
Yeah. I think it's important. I spoke at the beginning about, opportunity cost and time being valuable. If I could set aside some of my time to give to other places, and it sounds, I've been affected in many ways in my life. I like to try and give back as much as I can. I try and do it within reason. Often I work at school dinners and fundraisers and these sort of events. I don't always go for free. I don't, automatically you assume because it's a charity I do it for free. But as you said, it's my business, and if I did every single job for free, I mean, if most of my work is fundraisers and events, I wouldn't be able to carry on doing what I love to do. But the idea is to give as much time to the Sudokas, to give as much of a platform, whatever platform I have, to be able to raise money for them and help in any way I can. So
you've got quite a big platform, both in at the events, but also in terms of your social media, your access to the press. You're a public figure within the Jewish world, we could say. Do you use your platform to promote political, social agendas? Or do you try to avoid that, and why?
It's a good question. I sort of stay out of that sort of thing. It's not my business to influence, or if I do even influence, or say particularly political views that I have. I think the idea is to be principled, and I did some music videos, as I was speaking about earlier, and music videos are great fun to do. You get a nice budget, you get new suits, it's a good fun. There's a nice team there that you work with. But with these music videos, one of them I did, my first one for Am Yisrael Chai, was in Israel, and it came up with the question that people, it was a bit of a controversy because people in certain sectors weren't happy with me doing it as well, because it seemed like I supported, things that they didn't support, let's put it like that. Quite honestly, I think, when it comes to Israel, when it comes to different topics, I think they're very controversial. Do I think everything the Israel government do is correct? No. Do I think some of the things they do is correct? Yeah. I mean, it's like any political party. I don't tend to get involved too much.
But you leave it out of the world of music.
Yeah, and you know what? If I want to go film there, I'm going to go film there. And there's so many controversies you can pick up on. But let's look at the good stuff.
I suppose anything you could find something to pick out as controversial.
100%. Let's find the good in things. Well, even Corona, we found the good in it. We found some nice things to do. We do a lot more Zooms and concerts and things like that. Let's just find the good, the silver lining.
So when you were working internationally before Corona,
yes.
Did you find it difficult to work with different markets, different cultures?
I was just in America before Corona hit, so it was sort of starting. I was in what's it called, Uncle Joe's or whatever it's called, Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah, in America. I remember people with the masks and everything. I was buying all the spices that everyone was recommending, OU and all these fantastic things. It was just starting there. America's different. It's legendary. It's different. But, I did a wedding there. I got there and they gave me this 15-pack document, PDF. They sent it to me and they gave it to me in hard copy from the event planners. I mean, that just doesn't happen here. Huge teams of people. I mean,
if you want, next time I'm running an event that you're singing at, I can prepare you 15 pages.
15 pages too long.
I can give you the whole table plan.
Exactly. But no, the idea is everyone's different. That's the point. It's the experience I got before to be able to work with people, understand people. Everyone's got different views, but everyone brings something to the table. So whether it's different culture, whether it's different country, people on different religious levels, it's all the same to me. That's the point, to be able to work with people. Ultimately, by the way, we're delivering for the couple. We're not delivering for ourselves. If I do a good job, and the couple's happy, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? The guests will be happy. Everyone will be happy. That is the best sort of word of mouth. That's the sort of best business you can do.
Right. And is that what you would say is your biggest channel for promotion?
I'd say word of mouth is definitely the biggest, 100%. Everyone, when you have a wedding, you see something good, you want to pass that on, or you ask a friend, who did they have for their wedding, or who did they have for their bar mitzvah? So 100% word of mouth. I think social media does play a big part. My thing is always, people can post Instagram photos where they can be sitting on a couch, and it looks all lovely and luxurious, but then right in front of them, what you don't see on the camera, is the massive mess in the kitchen and all that. It's the photoshopped life. That's what I try not to do. I try to always give the good and the bad. When I have bad things in my life going on, I publicize them. And when I have good things in my life going on, I also publicize them. I think it's to be always honest on social media and give a story.
You have been very, very open with your personal journey over the past few years. I know there were some particularly tough times with the loss of your son.
Yes.
Which you turned into launching a charitable project. It wasn't a charity of itself. It was a project to support a charity. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's Abidan's mission.
Okay.
Abidan was my son, part of Camp Simcha. So already an established tzedakah. They've got,
which does incredible work for so many people.
Fantastic work, and they've got a great infrastructure. So the point was, I didn't want to start a new charity. We've got enough charities. How many charity campaigns are going on at the moment? We've got enough of them. We want to go within a charity that's already set up, a great infrastructure, and add to it, give added benefits. And so we started Abidan's mission. And by the way, during that whole time that we were going through everything we were going through, because my son was alive for 5 weeks. I was still working. I was still going to simchas.
That must have been incredibly difficult to put the smile on.
It wasn't putting the smile on. I left baggage at the door. Listen, I'll give an example. We were in UCH for 110 days, right? During that period, I was probably at the landmark just under 20 times, without exaggeration. And it was amazing. I'd walk there and walk
down the
back.
road.
Yeah, literally. Walk there and walk back. I remember going in at 1 a.m. to see my son. And I hadn't seen him all day, wearing a 3-piece suit. I felt a little bit out of place, the earphones dangling. But I think the most important thing was I left the baggage at the door and genuinely enjoyed the simcha, because, it was a great escapism for me. I actually, you wouldn't think it, but I loved doing simchas then. I loved carrying on working, feeling a bit normal, and then going back to the hospital, seeing, that's the only way I could add. The only way to say, sane. But setting up the charity, setting up that tzedakah, Avidan's mission has definitely made a difference to other people already.
And how can people get involved with Avidan's mission? What is it?
It basically helps parents with who have children with very sick babies, premature babies, unwell babies, and it helps them in the most complete range of ways, to be honest. But every case is slightly different. I just heard yesterday, my wife told me, she's very active within the charity. My wife told me, people needed extra freezers at home to store the milk and all the nutrients for the babies and whatever. Camp Simcha, Abidan's mission, they delivered 2 freezers to these families who needed it. They'll do anything. They'll help with baby grows. You need specifically small baby grows when a premature, my babies were born at 6 months, thank God. Baruch Hashem, I got a beautiful Nathaniel. He's now walking, nearly talking, and he's now grown. He's nearly 2, but when he was born,
And a miniature version of yourself.
yeah, well, he's got blonde blue eyes, but otherwise, can definitely sing. Keeps us awake.
I'm sure.
But he was literally the size of my hand was the size of his nappy. And you can't get these things everywhere, and you can't get them so quickly, and the hospitals don't always give them. They tell you need to go and buy them, and that's what the charity is there for, to help you at your time of need.
It's incredible to hear how you've balanced so many things, supported so many people. And I actually have a lot more I want to ask you about. I also feel like we should probably break down some of your music and some of the different things you've done on the show, but we are out of time.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've got to look at the deconstructions that I've done. That really breaks down the videos.
The deconstructions?
Yeah, YouTube, deconstruction videos.
Okay, so why don't you tell us where are your social medias? Give everyone the...
Okay, which camera? That camera?
That camera over there.
Okay, YouTube, check out my channel, Facebook, Mr. Eitan Freilich, Instagram, I think it's at Eitan Freilich, and I think it's at
Eitan Freilich official. Is that
not anymore?
No, not anymore. Okay,
no, it's
sorry.
Unofficial now. No. But it's those are the channels. Check them out.
Do check them out. Subscribe, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment for Acumen. To hear more of our interviews with CEOs, executives, solopreneurs, and other experts in their fields talking about leadership, business, and marketing. I love your feedback, so do send me an email, follow me on Instagram, send me a message on LinkedIn, or connect with me on LinkedIn, and we'll be back with more very, very soon. Keep making magic.